What's up, y'all? Carolina Keith, regular Keith, Professor Keith, just Keith. It's fine with me. Hope you guys had a good Tuesday, good Wednesday. That's how I say it. I don't say Tuesday and Wednesday. I say Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm from the South. Always have been and always will be. Nonetheless, boy, what a day the markets had. Oh my goodness. They took a beating. We're going to talk all about it. Glad to have you here. Welcome to Charts After Dark. Please, if you haven't done so, go hit like. Free. Cost absolutely nothing. Nothing to hit the like button. While you're there, subscribe so you don't miss anything. We do this twice a week minimum. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss other stuff that we put out. We do this for educational purposes. We want people to learn how to chart. We want people to learn what we do. We want people to learn how to be ahead and not behind. I say this all the time, but I started this way back in the day because I didn't understand why I was behind. How could I be the guy ahead instead of the guy from behind? Pause.
Pause. Damn.
That's not what I meant. Anyway, how to not be behind the market. I tried my best to learn. Took some time, took a lot of beatings, where prices come back down from where they thought you were going to go, and then you learn the hard way. And I don't want everyone else to learn the hard way. That's the whole purpose of what we do here. Nonetheless, let's get into it, shall we? And we shall. I've got Bitcoin pulled up here. Just a real quick refresher update on Bitcoin before I go into Tesla's day that it had. Holy smokes. I wanted to talk about Bitcoin first. I spoke about this range on Tuesday and how it had broken above the previous high right here and tried to make a new high. Problem, it didn't maintain it. It instantly rejected it and fell back underneath the range. I'll zoom in here where it's nice and large to look at.
Pause. Damn.
I know. You know what I mean. Anyway, top of the range, not good enough. It immediately rejected. Now, it does have this going for it. It's still got a bit of an aggressive uptrend here. Hasn't failed that yet. As well as, if we kick it out, put some moving averages up, she's still hanging out over the 821 EMA. It did close under the 8, but it's trying to get back over it now. It's still over the 50 moving average. And as you can see, look at the aggressive hook on that 50 moving average right there, trying to turn upward and have a little bit more strength than it had previously. Ichimoku cloud. You're still well inside the Ichimoku cloud. Ichimoku cloud has turned green on the end. Hey. Not only has it turned green on the end, you have the conversion line over the baseline. That's 2 check marks. We need 4. We have the lag line over the candles. Excellent. That's 3. Last one is the price. Current price over the cloud or not? No. She didn't quite get over the cloud. Didn't quite get there. So 3 out of 4 is not bad. You know what I mean? 75%, not bad. That being said, it didn't get all the way out. And as such, it's going to pay the price here by suffering for a bit. I'm going to sneeze. Whew, I might have one more in there. There we go. So we are above the pivot line still, 63.5. Excuse me, by the way. Above 63.5, still hanging tough. Hasn't fallen below the pivot line. That's good going for it. So over the 821 EMA, you're 3 out of 4 on the cloud. You're over the 50 moving average. You're over the pivot line still. You haven't failed that. You're over the trend line, short term. You haven't failed that. Stepping back, you are 1 away from the cloud being 4 out of 4 still. You're still stuck in the range here. So it's still ranging back and forth until it breaks out. As well as your MACD and RSI really aren't much help here. They're just kind of cruising sideways, still working and doing its thing. It did cross over bullish on the daily, but it has started to kind of converge the lines back down together, which is the C in MACD, moving average, convergence, divergence. And they have started to pinch down. You've been steadily losing volume for quite a few days here without really jumping the shark here. Kind of got it going against it there. On that note, If I pull fibs on it from the upper high back here that we had in May to the bottom, like so here, you'll see we got right to the 382 fib and sort of rejected it. Stiff rejection from the 382 thus far. That doesn't mean it can't still go higher. It's just that for now, it's stuck under it, which is also that range high. It's really interesting how math works, isn't it? Look at the 382 fib, just dead smack locked in that range. You could even tighten that range up with the 236 fib right here being the midline. Fine with that. It's fully possible that we range here a little bit before trying to take a run at that 70,000 level up there. 50 fib at 69.1, and then you got up here between 70 and 73 into the golden pocket. Both those levels, I think, will attempt to get challenged here. And moving averages help to show that. Nothing's really changed on that front, other than the moving averages slowly winding down through the range here, heading toward that 50 fib at 69,100, call it 70 range, and then 72,000 where the 200 moving average is. It hasn't hit the 200 moving average since middle of May, so it's working on 2+ months and not hitting it. It's bound to get back up there and hit it at some point. For now, you're range bound. It's a little bit boring, I know. Still a lower high overall. If I scroll out, you'll see lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. You're still working towards our buy zone that happens the end of Q3 to the beginning of Q4, sometime through there. That's that vertical rectangle that I've got there drawn. Haven't changed my position on that. I'm still dead locked in where I think that's going to go. What's up, by the way? I'll get to you guys in a second. Range low also happens to be right around all-time high support. So it's got that going for it. But at the same time, it has to break out and do something here. It can't just keep going sideways with low volume. That's a much ado about nothing situation, which, if you guys remember that old Shakespeare play, he really just makes fun of people throughout the whole play. So for now, it's a deadlock. I like to wait till next week and see some more action. What's up, by the way? Cheese, good to see you on here. First one to comment. Crypto Andrew, good to see you, brother. Philip, good to see you. What's up, my guy? Broke back, I see. I know, right? Hey, man, I didn't mean to.
Pause. Damn.
But I did it. What's up, Thurman? Dude. Where's Thurman? If you know, you know. Good to see you, brother. Long time no see. Like to see you guys come in here, hang out from way back in the day, brother. Thurman's been around since, God, the 2018 days or 2019 days. When was it, Thurman? You tell me. What's up, squad? Good to see you, brother. It's got to be 2019 or some shit like that. It's been a long time. Brother's been hanging around for a minute. Good to see you guys. Still don't get any press from those other guys, by the way. They still refuse to talk to me after all these years. It's incredible. More importantly, let's get down to the dirty stuff here, all right? I've got a couple requests to get to. But first, brother, we got to talk about the elephant in the room. Don't make us sound old. I know, Thurman. Sorry. Brother. So, El Elefante in El Rume. I don't know how to say room in Spanish. Oh, brother, your birthday's tomorrow. That's nice. How old are you going to be? 173? Sorry, Philip. I'm just messing, dude.
Damn.
Don't get mad. I'm old, too. It's fine. We got old real fast. I got old and gray real quick. Tesla, one day, 14.5% at one point, 15% down. Holy smokes. This is the single largest drop over a day since June of 2025. It did something very similar. June of 2025, a very, very aggressive rollback. It did eventually catch a second wind here and hold its water before it broke out later on in the year and then made a new high. If you look back in history, it has not had a drop this aggressive over one day in a very, very long time. If I go all the way back to 2024, it hadn't had a fall like that. And if I keep going, it took some days to make these drops, but they weren't over one day. This was just one day. Bam, smack right in the mouth, and down she goes. It blew through, right through the previous low and took all those longs with it, smoked them all. Good thing I didn't have any options on this. when this happened, saw it last night before I went to bed, and I said, all right, man, I'll DCA a little bit. Woke up in the morning, and this heifer was down to 3 something else. I was like, what? There's no way you're giving me these cheaper prices. Couldn't help myself. DCA'd again. So I had 2 DCAs overnight / in the morning here. Got my average down a little bit more. This is one of my long-term positions that I said I would be a long-term on, and I'm being a long-term on. We've seen this thing poke its head down below the trend line before, but then catch a wave and snap back up. This much of a fall this fast over this short period of time is usually pretty unsustainable for anything to do this. Look at the daily go from not oversold to oversold. This is the first time that Tesla has been oversold since March of 2025. And it was oversold for a grand total of 2.5 days before it went overbought again. All right, that was right through here in March of 25. It went from 213 oversold all the way up to $300 within a matter of a few days. That's the way this stock works. And I know that sounds crazy to be this high of a market cap, but it is what it is. Part of the game. Ton of short interest on this now opened up in one day. Huge gap down. Looking at the weekly is the really spooky part. You blew right through the 100 moving average as if it wasn't even there. I think that dictates a retest, at least a back test of the 100 moving average. We haven't even seen that start to happen yet. 200 moving average is all the way down at 282 on the weekly. Look at the monthly. Whew. She blew right through that monthly 821 EMA like it wasn't even there. Again, that makes me think that warrants an 821 EMA back test. Can it do it? Well, I don't know, but that was one of the most rapid drops ever for Tesla over a one-day period. And people love to blame earnings. Brother, they made an extra $1.8 billion. Did they make as much as they thought they were going to make? No, but they still made a profit. As you see, they only made a 20% earning instead of the 32 that they thought they were going to have. That's 38% lower than they thought they might get. Is what it is. Grok hacked the NYSE. That's pretty good. We'll talk about XRP in a minute, but yeah, it's pretty good. I don't see this being a sustainable fall, and I'll give you a couple of reasons why. I'm going to flip this to linear mode for a second while I pull some fibs. Short term on the daily from this last low to the last high. I'm going to pull fibs on that from the last low to the last high right there. Kind of trying to mine that price action as a trend line. Look at how aggressively this thing blew right through the 1272, the 1414, and the 1618 all at once. Log, linear, doesn't matter. Interestingly enough, if I kick you over here to the crypto pair, which runs after hours, this was a perfect 1.618 from the low to the high, and then all the way down to the 1618. Same sort of RSI, but a little bit more oversold. Why? Well, it ran after hours and it got to show the extra price action that happened after hours. So you got slightly different looks here, but I'm able to use this one since it trades post-market. A perfect 1618. This still has a chance to reverse. It's going to come down to short time frames. Can this thing pull itself out of the hole? Look at how oversold the 4 hour is. And even if I go to the regular pair, look at the regular pair. This is the lowest the 4 hour RSI has been since March 2025. And again, it popped out of that very aggressively. It has done it back in 2024 and 2023. But each time that happened, it aggressively pulled out of the hole. Can it do that again? I'm inclined to think so. There's no real earth-shattering major, oh my God, Elon is stepping down type BS news that has anything to do with anything. It really just comes down to short interest and more shorts piling in the longs. You sit here and bump your head against resistance long enough, you are bound to test the lows. That's exactly what happened. People love to pin news to things. Only problem is when it doesn't fit their narrative, they don't. Or they say, why is this happening? Well, the problem is you're looking for a why. And the answer is there's not always going to be a why. Doesn't really matter what you want. It's what the market gives you. It's a hard lesson to learn for a lot of people, but it's a lesson best learned the hard way. Like they say, revenge is best served as a cold dish. Well, lessons are best learned as a hard lesson. That way you don't forget them so easily. This is another case of that. I do think this is going to eventually turn around. I know I've been saying that for a long time, but it did pop all the way up to 451 when I was saying that. And then back down. It's fine. I plan on dealing with this, doing this for a while. It's been sideways for over a year. It can't last that way forever. I know there's a lot of change going on, and there's talk of SpaceX merging with Tesla, this, that, and the other. I get all that. And that matters to me. I just chart. For now, hugely bearish. Oversold. Everything here says, oh my God, watch out, more down. And that to me, when that kind of stuff happens, means there's usually some buying to happen somewhere. So keep your eyes on it. Turn off the hype machine if you need to. I don't do hype machines. I just chart. So let's see if this thing changes course or not. I'm still down with it. I'm waiting on it some more. We'll see what happens. Again, single biggest drop for Tesla in a very, very long time. It hasn't done this in quite a while. And as such, it's worth noting, you know what I mean? So let's do a couple of the ones that got requested. The XEUST. Yeah. So what are we looking for here? I believe this was getting talked about over in the Discord as well. It's down 99%, if I'm not mistaken, from the high. I'm sorry, 95. It was down 96 and 97%. But, the last couple hours, it popped up a little bit. Yet another case of not getting involved with the shitcoin altcoins. This is exactly the kind of problems that can happen. And one more reason why you won't see me miss. It already did this back in September. No one learned their lesson, and here we are again with a similar thing happen. It's almost as if people just couldn't get enough of losing. But there's nothing I can do about that. I urge people not to touch this kind of stuff. And this is exactly why. You know what I mean? Stay away from the ugly stuff. Ooh, interestingly enough, look, it's sort of slowed down into the wait a minute zone before that and then just plummeted through everything. It's fairly clear that someone pulled the liquidity out of this thing, and then there's nothing anyone can do about it. Is it something that I want to fiddle with, or I even want to chart? No, not really, but it is worth noting how silly people can get when they think that their thing's special. And it's not. It never has been, never will be. Please keep your eye on this kind of stuff from now on. I specifically avoid low cap altcoins for this reason. Google. All right. So if you thought, oh man, wow, what a terrible day Tesla had. Oh, you shorted that. That's a great play, Andrew. Oh, what a terrible day Tesla had. It's because they're a bad company. Well, I present to you Google, one of the biggest companies in the world, and a 7% fallback closed on the day. At one point, nearly 8% down, which is a metric ton of money. They lost billions of dollars today. And what happened? Well, simply put, you broke through the 821, you slapped that 50 moving average very aggressively, and it rapidly rolled back. 821 failure, ping-ponged a little bit, and then straight down through the 200 moving average. Post-market didn't have the juice to get it back over the 200 moving average yet. She's almost oversold, but not quite. It looks as though it will go oversold. If you kick it back to the weekly, she's not quite to the 50 moving average at 308. It looks like 308 is a fair assumption. Ichimoku Cloud blew it through everything. Pivots, you're almost down to all the way to 307, which looks like that'll be the spot where the S3 happens. So there's some confluence around that 307, 308 level, and it still may go around 300 because, hey, 300 is a nice round, even psychological number, and it's happened before. So don't think, but just because you don't like an asset, that it means it's failing. Google had a very same type of price action today. Oh, it was just Google because Google's a bad company. And how about Amazon? All they do is literally deliver to everybody's house every single day. And they were also down. At one point, over 5%, closing at 4.5% on the day. Amazon lost the 50 moving average, the 821 EMA, the 100 moving average, and the 200 moving average, all in a matter of a couple days. Bang, bang, bang. Just like it was nothing. 50 moving average on the weekly is your saving grace here at 232.96, which is right where we're at, 234 post market. This is yet another example. Don't think it's special because it's not. Don't think your asset's failing that you don't like because you don't like it. No, that's not how it works. So how about some more? This was pointed out by China Matt over in the Discord not too long ago. Yeah. Bam. IBM has failed miserably, but IBM failed back to previous all-time high from 2012, 2013. Ruthless, brutal sell-off price action back to the weekly 200 moving average. Do you think IBM is doing as bad as they say it is? They were only missed by 0.5% on their earnings. And yeah, they lost $300 million, but that's only 1.7% of the market cap. $17 billion company. Bad price action, I will grant that, but it's got a huge gap all the way back up to $289. It's failed everything. Look how oversold and flatlined this RSI is. Goodness. I would assume at some point this thing tries to catch another wave and starts to try to make gains back. But is what it is. Last time earnings came out, they had good earnings and price still went down. So again, where was the reporting of that? And you're not going to see it. Another example of how wild things can be. Here's Intel. Oddly enough, not the same price action as some of the others, yet still in a sticky, precarious position. 50 moving average, 821 EMA under all three. 100 moving average didn't get touched a couple days ago. There she's rearing her ugly head downward underneath the 8. It looks like it wants to try to challenge that 100 moving average. I would not be surprised if you see it get hit. One more. NVIDIA. These are all sort of technology, microchip style companies or top 100 companies, NASDAQ 100 assets. Big push to try to get over the 50, then you closed back under it. Tied up in the moving averages. You're also smacking resistance here. This is old school resistance from October of 25 that's kind of playing hardball here and doesn't want to let the price get through. Big pin down. It is on the good side of the trend line. Can you continue with this? Can you get this price action loose and stay above the green trend line? Well, as long as she's on the good side of it, I'm expecting it to continue to try. Better cross your fingers out there because it doesn't mean the guarantees happen. How about SpaceX? So we've seen SpaceX have a pretty rough few days. If I flip this thing to linear mode, since we don't have many days, we'll use linear mode, that's fine. You fail all the way down below the 1414 fib at 118. You challenged $110 today, almost my $100 target. And such, before the day closed, you managed to flip this thing into a bullish green hammer at the bottom. Yes, this could mean a potential reversal back in the other direction. You did not go oversold yet. Be careful. In MACD, you still don't have all the lines. It's kind of useless. Pivot points, yeah, you didn't quite get to S3 yet at 102. I still think the door's open for that before the end of the month and even potentially going into the new month of August. You're still under the 8 EMA. You're still under the 21 EMA. You're still under the trend line. If I flip it to log mode, I can redraw this trend line a little bit, but you're still playing around with the 1618 fib right there and haven't quite tried to get through it yet. So I need to see another couple days here from it to prove to me that you've got the juice to keep it going here. If you can't prove to me you got the juice to keep going, there you go. I kind of moved that trend line up for log mode, and you can see that's still under it. If you don't have the juice to keep going, the $100 mark is still a lock solid option here. And you notice that in 1618 in linear mode, 103 is roughly about the 2 fib at 99 in log mode. Nonetheless, the price action sort of dictates that it still wants to get down there. And until it breaks the trend line, that's where my thought process is as well. Brutal day for the markets. I think $2.7 trillion was lost today. $2.7 trillion. Hey, what's up, Alvin? What's up, B. Henry? Good to see you guys. Appreciate you guys coming and hanging out over on Rumble. Next up, as we wind down here, how about everybody's the greatest digital asset ever created in the middle of the live stream? XRP. I was lucky enough to get me another bag. Does my 5-year-old need to draw you a picture? Oh. I've got cinnamon in my coffee. You guys know what I'm talking about. So annoying. But anyway, you broke the 821 and 50 moving averages. Great. Problem, you went right back up underneath them yesterday. Hardcore rejection. I've drawn these lines thinking that this thing was going to push toward this circle over here. I'm still waiting for it to happen. Rapid retracements back underneath trend lines or back underneath moving averages like that are spooky. But the last time this happened, it took a couple of days and it made another try. Are we going to see that again? Take a couple of days and make another try? Well, get with it. You know what I mean? Let's get with it. Let's see if we can push up out of this mud. It still gets trapped down here and doesn't want to get loose. Here's the weekly. That's the other problem. You've got tons of traffic in the way preventing this thing from really making the moves we want to see. It still can't get over that weekly 8 EMA. Just sort of stuck in the mud. Still coming off of oversold, but no volume to really push the limits here. And as far as weekly MACD goes, just sort of trending slowly up and to the right. You do have some positive green volume bars here. But until this gets over the bullish midline, really super monster help there. You are seeing a little bit of divergence between the blue and orange. That's not bad. And as far as our Ichimoku cloud goes on the weekly, well, yeah, just forget about it. It's not even close. Daily, look at that clean rejection of the Ichimoku cloud right there.
Damn.
Man, it tried. Hardcore rejection. Stuck underneath the cloud. Clearly, we need this to break over. Lag line is still over the candles. That's one good thing. Conversion line is still over the baseline. That's your other good one. Problem is you have a red cloud on the end that needs to be green. And you're still under the cloud. You need to be over the cloud. Not inside it, but over the cloud. That's 2 out of 4, not 4 out of 4. So that's just good enough to be not good enough. Come on, XRP. Prove me wrong. Let's make a big move up. Good luck with that. She says weird crypto wasn't as crazy, right? Virtual is in an interesting daily averages. Yep. Like the others, tied up. It looks like Solana. So there's virtuals and then there's Solana. They're almost identical. And that's why, I would say my thought process behind that is a lot of altcoins are just following the big caps. There are some that look better than others. Here's Uniswap, by the way. Uniswap still over the 200 moving average, looking loud and proud. Compared to most, that's much better. Look at it crossing the weekly 821, which is rare for most of these. Uniswap, what you got here? It popped into the top 25 there for a little bit, and it looks like it wants some more juice. Hype had been a very, very high runner here, but over the last few days has slowed down, broken under the 821 and 50, all the way down to the 100 moving average. Big slowdown for Hype. We had this back at $12. No, $15. And this thing done a ton of good gains. Hey, we've been watching this for a while. I'm glad to see some of these doing better than others. And then you got ones like Pole, which is Polygon, which formerly was Matic. This still looked terribly crummy, stuck under everything, stuck under the 50, the 821, everything. ICP. Oh man, this thing had a ton of hype, including me thinking it was going to do something. I'm glad I got out, because man, did she ever lay an egg and throw up all over her own lap. 821, 50, everything rejecting everywhere. Near protocol, one of the better looking ones. Rejection, rejection, rejection. Tied up in the moving average, just like some of those others. XLM had made a pretty good look here. Problem, tied up under the moving averages, tied up under the trend line. It tried, and then got stuck in the mud here. So it's multiple of them that look like this. You know what I mean? I'm glad to see that there's some good starts to price action, but they can't maintain. They don't have the volume, and they all seem to me just be following a couple high caps. In conclusion, I see Tesla eventually bouncing back here. Minus 14 doesn't happen very often. You may have another red day coming in here at the end of the week, but a bounce back day would make some kind of sense here. You've seen post market that it tried to juice up a little bit, and it did come back above the 1618 on the crypto pair, which very closely mirrors the regular pair. SpaceX threw a hammer. That doesn't mean that it's not going to keep going down. It just means that there's a potential for some reversal there, but you need to break the trend line to prove it. Bitcoin's still kind of idling around a little bit. It wasn't just it wasn't just Tesla that had a bad day. It was Google, Amazon, Apple, and a whole host of others. Intel, IBM, et cetera, et cetera. And lastly, XRP continues to just let us down. Prove me wrong by going way up. We'll be waiting. Nonetheless, thank you all for hanging out and coming on and joining our live stream. I really appreciate it. It's awesome to see more people show up. We got about 100 people tonight. That's awesome. I want to see it keep going. I want to see us get into those thousands like we were before. Will it ever? I don't know, man. It is what it is. I can't force anybody to watch. So I'm not the hopium guy who says every little bit of clickbait thing. What I do is reality and fact-based, and that's the only thing I know how to do, so that's the only thing I'm ever going to do. So I appreciate all y'all watching. You guys are awesome. We'll be back again next week, Tuesday, Thursday, to continue on through this bear market until we get down to our floor level, where you'll see me happily tell everyone when I'm buying. Thank you all. I should be dead or in jail. I'm still here with you. I'm going to make the most of it. See y'all next week. Y'all be good, man. Sky's the limit. I'm out. Peace.